What's up, blasters? Slay bosses, farm dungeons, and blitz through the pits in Season 9 with Azurewrath Rogue. My name is Bippy, and this build is the top contender for the Rogue crown in the next season. With a unique proc-based playstyle, this sword can be slotted into many variants, be it Twisting Blades, PenShot, or Shadow Step. They all can make use of it. However, for this video, we are going to focus on Twisting Blades. The skills used are very similar in all of the variations, with Shadow Clone being the ultimate of choice here. Caltrops and Poison Trap are used for beneficial damage buffs and dash for mobility. Twisting Blades is paired with Heartseeker to activate our key passive Close Quarters Combat. PenShot can use any Cutthroat skill to activate Close Quarters Combat, so Dash, Shadow Step, and Shadow Clone are possible conduits here. Our specialization is Preparation. It allows us to reset our cooldowns whenever we cast Shadow Clone and gives us 5 seconds cooldown reduction on Shadow Clone per 75 energy spent. Twisting Blades and PenShot can activate this naturally, with the Shadow Step variant relying on Quack's Rune to do so. With the Armory being introduced in previous seasons and all variations sharing very similar gear, swapping between them based on what activity you want to run might be feasible. Twisting Blades is the ideal variant for bossing and pit pushes, while PenShot is a great all-rounder, although being weaker in bossing but a little bit better at clearing. Shadow Step is an excellent speed farmer for Torment 4, but it lacks the power to push deep into the pit. If you want to know the optimized choices for PenShot and Shadow Step, make sure to check out our written guides for them at Mobalytics. For our gear, let's start with our name-giving piece, Azurewrath. This unique sword has a 40% chance upon a lucky hit to deal a massive amount of cold damage that scales with attack speed. So more attack speed increases the base damage of Azurewrath. Azurewrath also has more useful stats like all stats, attack speed, and cold resistance, and also applies vulnerable and chill to our enemies. For our other sword, we're going to use Blade Dancer and Masterwork the chance for Twisting Blades to hit twice. For our ranged weapon, we're going to use a conceited bow, and because of second wind we have barrier up all the time, and here we're also going to masterwork the chance for Twisting Blades to hit twice to reach 100%. Going above 100% chance for Twisting Blades to hit twice has no effect. For our amulet, we're going to use a Vehement Brawler necklace with Dexterity and Alchemical Advantage and Malice. You want to masterwork Alchemical Advantage here to increase our lucky hit chance and attack speed. We also temper damage per Dark Shroud Shadow and Shadow Clone cooldown reduction. Our first ring is going to be Ring of Starless Skies. If you don't have the required mythic uniques, check out the replacements later in the video. On Ring of Starless Skies, we want GA lucky hit chance and masterwork it 3 times. For our second ring, we're going to use a Inner Calm Aspect ring where we masterwork the dexterity. For our helmet, we're going to use Air of Perdition with a GA on lucky hit chance and ideally triple masterwork. For our chest, we're going to use Shroud of False Death, which has the very potent +1 to all passives, and we want the GA on all stats and also masterwork it 3 times a year. Our gloves are Fists of Fate. Fists of Fate are very strong because they give us a lot of lucky hit chance, so we want the GA on lucky hit chance and also masterwork it as often as possible. Critical strike chance and attack speed are quite useful to the build, and the chance to make vulnerable can't hurt either. The second most important stat on Fists of Fate after lucky hit chance is the unique aspect though. You want it to be as close to 300% as possible. On our pants, we want to use Umbrus and temper Heartseeker duration to not have to cast Heartseeker as often to keep up close quarters combat. On our boots, we're going to use the Slice and Dice aspect to give Twisting Blades a cleave, and also temper some lucky hit chance and movement speed. Our first rune word is Ahu Quox. Whenever we score a few lucky hits against non-healthy enemies, Quox will trigger, benefiting us with a big damage boost. Our second rune word is Tam Kree. After casting 12 non-channeled core skills, which is Twisting Blades for example, we will invoke the Spiritborn's Vortex skill to deal damage and pull in enemies. This will be one of our primary sources to group up enemies. For our Heraldric Jewels, we're going to use Idol from Below for increased dexterity and maximum life, and also to have the Jewel Guardian spawn, which will increase our progression in pits. We are also using Spark of Creation to help us with our energy management. And lastly, we are going to use Scornful Light to increase our elemental damage, which Azurewrath deals in terms of cold damage. If you do not have the listed mythic uniques yet, you can use a helmet with the Might aspect, where you masterwork like hit chance and ideally have a greater affix on it, a chest with ranks to Dark Shroud as masterwork focus and greater affix, where you put the enshrouding aspect on for more defense, also temper lucky hit chance, and lastly a Starlight ring where you get critical strike chance, lucky hit chance with GA and masterwork, and attack speed and ranks to innovation to help out with your Azurewrath procs and energy economy. To properly cap out your resistances and armor, You want to use Spiral Morning, Song of the Mountain, and Soothing Spices as our incenses. Elixir of Advantage 2 is very useful to cap out attack speed in cap 1 and give us some more increased lucky hit chance. Now let's take a look at our skill tree. We open up the skill tree with Heartseeker to be able to use it for close quarters combat. It increases our attack speed and the critical strike damage. Twisting Blades is used to increase our damage against targets that we impale, and also is the main conduit for our Azurewrath procs. With an estimated 6 attacks per second, and this stacking up for 3 seconds, this can go to over 144% as a damage increase for the enemies that we hit with it. Pretty massive, so very strong as a catalyst for Azurewrath. Twisting Blades also reduces our active cooldowns by 0.1 seconds for every enemy they pass through, which is important to reduce the cooldown of all of our skills and especially Shadow Clone. We pick up some passives along the way and go into the agility part where we pick up caltrops for more damage and be able to chill the enemies reliably. Pick up more damaging passives and take dash in the speed farming variant to move across the battlefield faster. Alternatively, you can also use Shadow Step. In the subterfuge part, we pick up points into Darkshot and max it up to 5 for more damage reduction, move speed, and critical strike chance. Pick up even more damaging passives and take Poison Trap to knock down enemies and increase our non-physical damage, which Azurewrath's cold proc is, against them. For pit pushing, we would pick up Smoke Grenade with the Enhanced Smoke Grenade upgrade. Most importantly, pick up a Chemical Advantage here, which will increase our attack speed and lucky hit chance for every point that we have whenever we deal poison damage. Pick up some more damaging passives like Frigid Finesse, and go into our ultimate section to pick up Shadow Clone, which is basically only used to grant us more lucky hit chance, because Shadow Clone is also able to proc any lucky hit effects that we have. We pick up some points into Innovation, which is important to sustain our energy, and finally take our key passive Close Quarters Combat, which provides us with 15% attack speed in each of the 2 caps and increases our damage globally. Now let's take a look at the Paragon board. On the starter board, we're going to socket in Fluidity, which increases our damage whenever we cast an agility skill and grants us increased energy regeneration. Our second board is No Witnesses, which grants us increased damage whenever we cast an ultimate skill. With how often we gain the bonus from preparation, Shadow Clone will be up very often, so we have this bonus up all the time. We pick up some attack speed and socket in Devious, which allows us to deal more damage whenever we apply a crowd control effect. This also works against bosses. Our third board is Eldritch Bounty. Eldritch Bounty got changed that it gives you a flat 30% damage increase to all of your poison, shadow, and cold damage. Azurewrath deals cold damage, so this is very beneficial to us. On Eldritch Bounty, we socket in Kenny to further increase our non-physical damage. Pick up some much needed maximum life, damage reduction, and or resistance, as well as armor to bolster our defenses. Our fourth board is Deadly Ambush. Deadly Ambush allows us to deal increased critical strike damage to any enemies that are affected by our trap skills. We pick up some trap damage reduction, and we slot in Headhunter, which increases our damage and our damage against elites, and also gives us some juicy dexterity. Pick up some poison resistance and also some trap arm time reduction to make poison traps spring a little bit faster. Our final board is Dance Macabre. Gives us a damage increase whenever we cast a mobility or subterfuge skill. We also pick up some close damage reduction and close damage, which is relevant for close quarters combat, as well as socket in Turf to gain the necessary amount of damage to close enemies to cap out our close quarters combat key passive at 90%. Let's look at the Heretic Spellcraft for Season 9. We want to use Nebulous Extract for more damage reduction and Bloody Charm to execute enemies. We want to use Gleaming Conduit to increase the effect size of our catalyst and Floaty Bubble to move faster through the battlefield while speed farming. For pit pushing, we want to use Fractured Core instead. Our catalyst is going to be Celestial Surge. Celestial Surge will release a ocular rune that will pull in all surrounding enemies. This can score a lot of lucky hits and will increase our procs from Azurewrath as well. For our mercenaries, we use Subo as a hired mercenary to gain access to Share a Drink, and most importantly, the Ambusher skill, which increases our lucky hit chance against enemies hit by Subo's salvo. And for our reinforcement, we're going to use Variana with the Earthbreaker for a reliable knockdown, and this is going to come for caltrops. Let's look at how to play the build. You want to activate Shadow Clone whenever it is ready. Shadow Clone itself is a massive damage boost and allows you to score more lucky hits to proc Azurewrath. You want to move around with Shadow Step and stop moving once you engage in a lead pack. Position yourself so that you do not have to move until the pack is actually dead. Casting Shadow Step will not break your inner calm aspect, so you want to start spamming Twisting Blades, ideally with Force Standstill, to not accidentally move and break the inner calm. Hitting enemies with twisting blades will proc Azurewrath for big damage. You have to shoot out Heartseeker every 6 to 8 seconds to keep up your key passive from close quarters combat. The exact timing depends on your Heartseeker duration temper which you have on the pants. Drop Caltrops and Poison Trap on elite packs and bosses for more damage amplification. Through the Umbrous aspect on your pants, you generate Dark Shots through lucky hits, which will secure your defense. Azurewrath's damage proc scales with attack speed. So not only does attack speed allow you to hit more often, but it also makes Azurewrath hit harder, despite not being noted so on the tooltip. Combined with stacking a lot of lucky hit chance through Fists of Fate, Air of Perdition, and Ring of Starless Skies, we can choose the most out of this unique sword. Azurewrath scales with both attack speed from cap 1 and attack speed from cap 2. The sum of total attack speed you can have from both caps combined is 200%, so that is 100% from each. We cap out cap 1 almost entirely through our gear, and cap 2 from passives like Alchemical Advantage, the accelerating aspect, and fundamental Heartseeker. Alright blasters, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments what hypes you about Season 9. I appreciate your support, and if you find this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and to subscribe if you want to see more. You can catch me live on twitch.tv/mippy. I'll be there blasting every day of the first week of season start, and I'll hope to see you there as well. Thank you for watching, and good luck and have fun.